Most penny stocks exist to enrich the insiders and the management. That's why you become a penny stock. So insider sales are a little different, where insiders selling, it's like, wait a minute, what does this guy know that other people don't know? Like if the president sells half his shares, the president probably knows what's going on in the company. Why is he not investing anymore? No different than insider buys, where if an insider adds to their position and doubles their position, it's not even about the money. It's just that, whoa, wait a minute, they might know something's coming up. They have confidence. Let's see why they're adding to this. So insiders are a little different. But then you also have to think of financings kind of as insider sales, because financings raise the company money, but how does the company spend the money to pay the insiders? So a lot of these pump and dumps, they get their stock up. Sometimes the insiders don't even sell. So there's two different ways that insiders can cash in on a pump and dump. They can sell their shares into the pump, and they have to file forms, and then it kind of looks like a pump and dump. Or they can just say, hey, let's pump the stock up from 20 cents to 90 cents, and let's do a financing. And that way, we're not going to sell our shares. We're just going to raise $30 million and then, basically rape the company over the next few years, spending that $30 million on their salaries. So they still get paid, whether they sell the shares right away or they take excessive salaries paid for by shareholders. Most penny stocks exist to enrich the insiders and the management. That's why you become a penny stock. Not because there's glory, like, hey, my stock is trading at 30 cents. No, they're not proud of it, but it's a liquidity vehicle for them to raise money and get people interested in funding their extravagant cocaine-fueled lifestyles. Most of the time, not all the time.
Damn it, I had a question, I forgot it.
But that's what you have to think. Like, if a CEO is making some positive statement, does he really believe it, or is he just trying to get the stock up? Most of the time, CEOs and management teams exist as shareholders and cheerleaders. It's in their own best interest. So these companies could be on the verge of bankruptcy and they won't say it. Bear Stearns' CEO or CFO was on CNBC the day before they went out of business. Yeah. They asked him, they're like, how's everything? And he's like, we're fine, we're good. Next day, bankruptcy. He couldn't admit it. He couldn't say we're going bankrupt on TV.
So whenever the, say like when an insider sells, or say an insider buys, adds to their position,
yeah,
they're required to
file
that, right? In
yes.
The SEC filings, or they usually put out a press release whenever an insider.
Although
buys.
with a lot of these penny stocks and a lot of these pump and dumps, their filings aren't exactly accurate. Some of these pumps, they say like we've reduced the share count, we've reduced the authorized shares, and then really they're just transferring shares to the Cayman Islands to make them untrackable.
So what does that mean when they say they reduce their share count? That's a good thing.
It's supposed to be, because then theoretically if there's less shares, there's less supply, and more demand should increase the price of each share.
Exactly.
But there's just no way to tell.
So then you said that they reduce their shares by doing what?
They just take the shares, the certificates out of circulation. They say that we're just getting rid of them, but no, you never really get rid of them. They just usually transfer them somewhere. So Sponge Tech, one of the biggest pump and dumps in history, came out with press release after press release saying we're reducing our shares, we're reducing our debt. Meanwhile, the promotions kept going out, the emails. So what it found out, because they were eventually sued for fraud and wire fraud and all kinds of bad stuff, they didn't get rid of the shares, they just hid them. And then they were selling them secretly. So they put out a press release saying, look, we're getting rid of these shares, don't worry, there's not that many shares out there. But then they went to some shady broker and they're like, yeah, sell those shares. That's the game. So you can't believe any company's press release. You can't even believe their fucking SEC filings. If you expect the worst out of everyone, you will not be disappointed. And you might even be surprised, because there might be, one or two good companies that do something good for at least a little bit until their incompetence and, drug addiction take over and fails the company in time. But yeah, that's the thing. And then you also have to think, just to confuse you even more, insider buys, it might be a good thing for the company because you're like, oh, the CEO is buying, like that's good. But how much is he really buying, or she, right? Like, are they really adding to their position? Are they doubling their position? because they believe in the company or because they know it's going to create news that's going to create a spike, and then the spike is going to create a financing. So they double their position in the investment. Let's say maybe they have $250,000 worth of stock, and then now they have $500,000 worth of stock. So they bump it up $250,000, but maybe they don't believe in the company. They just double their position because they know it's going to be a press release and it's going to spike the stock from maybe 30 cents to 60 cents. Then they're going to do a $5 million financing. So even if they think the company is going to go bankrupt in 2 years, it pays for them to double their investment, lose the $250,000 in 5 years, but by being able to get the stock up and doing the financing, they can raise $5-10 million and then pay themselves $1 million over 5 years. So they lose $250,000 on their increased position, but they make it back in salary. Hey, Tim Sykes, millionaire mentor and trader. Thank you for watching my videos. I hope that they help you. I want to share everything that I've learned over the years. You can check out more videos right over there, and also click subscribe so that you can watch all of these videos, get that knowledge, and become my next millionaire student.